My name is Ada Monzon. I am meteorologist, broadcaster, scientist, STEM educator, climate change educator. My passion is space education as well. And first, thank you so much for being here and for engaging with the Action Network. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come together and support recovery and resilience in the Caribbean region. This session will focus on supporting educational access to science, technology, engineering, and math, also known as STEM, as well as entrepreneurship in the Caribbean. This topic is very important to me and my organization, EcoExploratorio, Science Museum of Puerto Rico, where I'm the founder and also the president of the board of directors, because the story of hurricanes is personal. Our experience and relationship with nature has changed and is affecting all of us. And I can tell you that in my 30 years as a forecaster, hurricane forecaster, I can tell you that Hurricane Maria has been the most difficult experience I've ever had to face. Unfortunately, we did not have what it was needed to face such a catastrophic hurricane. We lost in Puerto Rico 2,975 persons. And you know, these catastrophic hurricanes can become a new field of meteorology because unfortunately, it is becoming our new normal. And having two hurricanes category 5 in less than 2 weeks near Puerto Rico and the US Virgin Islands is not normal. This is the climate change signal, and our islands are being threatened and we need to survive. Our team at the museum did not stand by when we had the hurricane threat and the hurricane impact of Maria. As an immediate response, we opened the doors of the museum. Science was immediately put to service for the benefit of our communities. In addition of giving humanitarian aid, we brought STEM education to municipalities. We brought all our mobile exhibits, publications, activities, and people needed a space to share their stories. We still need to tell our story. So it is important to have these kinds of spaces to do that. So we use STEM to bring social innovation, and this was part of the healing process. We developed and executed the first project that has used STEM to build resilience after a disaster with measurable and successful results. This innovative program I call Resilient Schools, where we have already certified 15 schools in Puerto Rico and certifying children with community emergency response teams certification training, PBL, project-based learning activities in topics such as renewable energy, emotional resilience, meteorology, climate change, recycling, agriculture, bees, science journalism, among others, teacher and student guides, publication on hurricanes, earthquake and climate change publications. We have established the first meteorological school network in Puerto Rico. After the hurricane, we lost our entire meteorological infrastructure. We have 15 schools now with seismic and also meteorological weather stations measuring the changes that are occurring in our environment. Our children and youth need and deserve opportunities to understand how the planet is changing, but we need social and also scientific mentoring for this so that we can better manage disasters. And there are unique opportunities, but you need to understand the needs in order to execute the effective mitigation strategies and get your ideas into action. We saw the educational gap, we saw the opportunities, and most important of all, we needed to produce enough content to promote the community reliance, which also translates to resilience. And the good news is that our museum will have a permanent structure soon. This will be built at the convention center in the next 3 years. This will be the center of gravity, a one-stop place, a space for people to meet and understand our culture and understanding that hurricanes are part of our history. This will be the one-stop place for STEM education and national hazard resilience in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. And I hope that you can all be part of this think tank to make sure that we produce real changes at the local level, especially for our children. As you know, the goal of the Action Network is to drive the creation of new, specific, and measurable commitments to action that will address key issues in the hurricane recovery and the long-term resilience of the Caribbean region. Throughout the session and today's meeting, you will be hearing about commitments to action that members of the Action Network have been hard at work developing. So please keep an ear out for these commitments and consider how you can support existing efforts or develop a commitment of your own. Now, it's a privilege, and I'm excited to welcome a very special guest to the session who has spent her entire career leading efforts to expand access to education, who has made incredible strides to support STEM education specifically. So please join me in welcoming Secretary Hillary Clinton.
Told us. So
Thank you so much. And this is for you. This is a climate change publication. I love that. For sure.
Oh, that's great. Oh, thank you so much, Ada. It was great listening to you describe all the work that you're doing and the institutions you're building, because that's so critical to us being able to not only achieve resilience, but sustain resilience. So thank you for that introduction. I am excited about what we're going to hear from our panelists, because this is a session on STEM education. The need for it has never been more apparent, and yet we don't always focus on it in the way that we need to, so that we can take what is today's current science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, both in education and in the skills that are required for the workforce, and see how it applies to what we're talking about today. Whether it's solarizing schools and communities, or developing clean water filtration systems, or reducing food insecurity in disaster areas, we need people with the skills that are really inherent in the challenges and solutions that we're seeking. I am very excited about talking with the panelists about math and science here in the Caribbean, because we know that to support a new generation of entrepreneurs and small businesses, which after all employ over 90% of the workforce in the U.S. Virgin Islands alone, we can't do it without STEM education. So I'm really excited about not only what we'll hear, but also about these two new commitments that I'm about to announce.